Today we come together for a very special purpose. It is to support our beloved sister Deeqa Haji and her family as they reunite with their son Mahad. This moment reminds us of the power of faith, resilience, and compassion, standing together in times of hardship as well as times of joy. As we begin this program, let us open our hearts with gratitude, with prayer for peace and blessings upon this family, and with a renewed sense of commitment to community. May this event be one of healing, love, and solidarity. Thank you everyone for being here. My first guest will be the director of CAIR OHIO, Khalid Turani.
Thank you, Sabrine. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this important event. I wanted to thank Mr. Darrell Parker for joining in as one of the attorneys, and I believe it takes courage and tenacity to take on some of these difficult cases, and I wanted to laud his courage and coming to speak with us on this panel, in this town hall meeting today. But really, the gratitude is to the lady who is bringing us together. She personifies the mama bear, if you will, her courage, her tenacity, and her resilience is only befitting to a bereaved mother who has been deprived the chance to be united with her child for the last 3 years. There are many allegations of medical malpractice, institutions that are overwhelming her and her family with their strength and abilities, but they're not stronger than the will of a mother to be reunited with her child. We at the Council on American Islamic Relations, we stand in solidarity and in support of Ms. Deeqa Haji and her claim, and we wanted to make sure that justice will be served, that our community will stand together, that as an organization, as the largest advocacy organization in the United States for American Muslims, that we're going to be true to our mission, and that is to defend, to advocate, and to educate. And we wanted to make sure that our beloved community member, Deeqa Haji, is going to get all the support that she can get from this community, from this organization, and throughout the legal system and through all the institutions that are there to protect the parental rights and the welfare of a child. We believe that the allegations merit an extensive investigation into what really has happened. Why is this mother being deprived of her child? And we want to hear from the attorneys. We have many steps that we are taking and we're planning on taking to make sure that justice will be served and that this family is reunited with Mahad, the child who has been suffering tremendously being away from his mother, and the mother who's been suffering being away from her child.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid Turani, and we would like to say thank you so much to CAIR OHIO. It takes a great leader to support the community, and Khalid Turani has shown our community that he is a great supporter. So thank you so much. And next, please help me welcome our beloved sister, Deeqa Haji.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brothers, sisters, leaders, friends, thank you for being here today. I stand before you not as an advocate, but as a mother whose heart is breaking every single day. My son, Mahad, is suffering because of failures in the very systems that are supposed to be protecting and healing our children. Mahad is not just a patient. He is my baby boy, my child who was robbed of life. I carried him, I birthed him, and I have fought for him from the first breath he took. Since his injury, I have sat by his hospital for days and nights that blur together, watching machines keep him alive. I talk to him, I sing to him, I hold his little tiny hands, and I wonder if he knows how much he is loved. But I have also watched doctors and officials treat him like a burden, not a child. I have heard them say that his life is not worthy of saving. As a mother, do you know what it does to me to hear such words? To see his spark dimmed, not because of faith, but because of mistakes, neglect, and cruelty. They stripped me of my parental rights. They told me I had to sit in my own, I had no say in my own son's care. They denied me the dignity of protecting him, of being his voice, knowing that he was unable to speak for himself. Our pain is always dismissed, classified, reclassified as resilience. After a cesarean section, I was told and questioned about my pain. I was told that my pain was not real, only for my cries to be taken seriously after I collapsed in the hospital room due to denial of pain medication. That same doubt, that same cruelty has followed me every step of this fight for my son. We are not made of steel. We are not superheroes. We feel pain. I feel pain. My child feels pain. We bleed just like any other human being, and yet we are forced to stay strong while the system continues to crush us. And the cruelty is not hidden. ICU doctors, the very people entrusted to save lives, looked at me in my eyes and told me that my son, Mahad, was a burden, and that perhaps I should let him go, suggesting I take a human life. Imagine being a mother and hearing those words. Imagine holding your child's hands while a doctor tells you his life is not worth saving because it is inconvenience. And then imagine that same system trying to take decisions out of your hands, denying you the voice and the right that every parent should have. In that moment, not only were my parental rights stripped, but Mahad's dignity as a human being was also diminished. They treated him as disposable, as if his life had no value. This is not medicine, it's cruelty. It is not compassion, it is inhumanity. What does it say about our society when a child's life can be written off as too difficult, too costly, and too much trouble? Instead of helping our family, Child Protective Services has broken us. They tore us apart. They tore my family apart. At every moment when we needed to be stronger together, they didn't protect Mahad, they punished him. They replaced love and support with surveillance and fear. And it is not only government institutions, even some community agencies, such as the Somali Community Association, who also has betrayed us. They have monetized our suffering. They have monopolized our community, presenting themselves as our representatives, but while silencing our real pain, the real pain of families like mine. Instead of advocating for justice, they profit from our struggles. They stand alongside the very institutions that are oppressing us. This is not representation. This is exploitation. When community leaders and organizations choose funding, power, and recognition over the truth and accountability, it becomes another tool in the chain of injustice. They were supposed to amplify our voices, but instead, they have buried them. Mahad is not inconvenienced. He is not disposable. He is my son. His life matters as much as any other child's life matters. He deserves a chance to grow, to play, and laugh alongside his twin. Every day that passes is another day stolen from him. Every delay is another piece of his childhood gone. Every act of silence from leaders and officials is another wound on my family's heart. So I stand here today as a mother, begging, pleading, and demanding justice. What would you do if this was your child? Robbed of his future by the very institutions you trusted to protect him? What would you do if the system told you that your child was too much of a trouble to fight for? We cannot accept this, not for Mahad and not for any child. Stand with me, stand with Mahad, demand accountability, demand justice, demand dignity. Mahad deserves life. Every child deserves life. He deserves love, and I will continue to fight for him. Thank you very much.
As you heard it here, we have a mother that is suffering, a mother in need of her child. So please come together. We as a community are here supporting our sister, and we have the family attorney, Daryl Parker, to enlighten us more on the case.
Thank you very much. Again, I'm Daryl Parker, and I represent the family in the case in the juvenile court here in Franklin County. I just want to give you guys a background of the process, not the details of the case, but just the process that we're going through. This case began in 2022. It began as a case of abuse, neglect, and dependency. I think abuse and neglect are self-explanatory. They were alleging that Mahad was abused and or neglected. The dependency is a little different. The dependency doesn't necessarily put blame on a parent, but what it does is acknowledge that the condition of the child is such to warrant the state to assume guardianship in the child's best interest. So that has been going on. In December of last year, the dependency was found by the court that the child is indeed dependent, and we agreed to that. His physical condition is such that it's almost, at this particular time anyway, very difficult for him to come home with his mom and dad, but we're working on that. The dependency was found, and with that comes a case plan. And the case plan is a vehicle by which the agency gives mother certain tasks or family certain tasks to accomplish to allow Mahad to come home. What we want to do is certainly want to get Mahad home. That's my number one priority, is to help the family get through this process, ultimately to get Mahad home. The county can have custody of the child for 2 years. And after 2 years, they have to file for permanent placement. We haven't reached the 2-year mark. In fact, were extended 6 months a couple of months ago. So we've got time to get things accomplished. We want to make sure that when Mahad does come home, that the resources are in place so mother and family can take care of him. Mahad, I saw him, and he's in very bad condition, I will say, and he's going to need extensive care when he gets home. He's going to need that. So we're going to make sure that care can be provided to the family, and hopefully we'll get Mahad home. Hopefully the things that he's suffering from, we can relieve, get him home, and hopefully change the course of things. But we're in the process of doing that. Ms. Haji, as you may have heard, I'm sure you get to it, that she's very much involved in this. She's very committed to helping her son. There are some things we have to do legally to get him home, and we'll take care of those things as we go along the way. But I'm here in support of Ms. Haji and the family, and we're hoping to get some good results at the end of this venture.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. As you heard it, there is nothing stronger than a mother's love. Love shall always prevail. And next, we have a family advocate all the way from state of Minnesota, Nasra Mohammed Salah. Please help me welcome Nasra.
Thank you. I think everybody can hear me. Thank you so much, first of all, Deeqa, Khalid, CAIR Ohio, for inviting me here. I am here by the will of Allah and to speak not only as a mother, but a Somali community member. I see the disparity in representation. I see a mother in need of support. I see a grieving sister who has gone through the same process over and over, year after year. And I'm here to do my part, just as everybody else in the community should.
I've heard the story, I've heard the presentation from the attorney, Daryl Parker, from the mother, Deeqa, and from the Council on American Islamic Relations. We're here to support Deeqa Haji with her fight for her child, and we will take any questions from you, and any support from community organizations is always welcomed, of course. For our part, as the Council on American Islamic Relations, we're happy to host this town hall meeting, and we'll continue to lend our support to Deeqa and her family, and to all those who are marginalized by the system, and all those who are abused by the system, as we believe that Deeqa Haji has been for the good of part of the last 2 years. So we'll open for any questions and any comments from the community.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muhammad Omar. I'm a candidate for Grove City Council. Today, I'm not here to speak as a candidate looking for support. I'm speaking as someone who refuses to stay silent while a child and his family are being failed. I want to thank CAIR Ohio for organizing this gathering, and I especially want to recognize Deeqa Haji and her husband, Mahad's parents, for their strength and their courage. Their determination to fight for their son, even while carrying so much pain, is an example for all of us. What has happened to baby Mahad is not only heartbreaking, it is completely unacceptable. And it should never happen in a community that values its children. For more than 3 years, Deeqa and her husband have been battling for answers while their child has suffered. The very systems meant to protect us, meant to protect him, instead left him vulnerable. That is wrong. It is a failure of responsibility, and it is a demand for accountability. We cannot pretend that this is an isolated incident. Baby Mahad's story is one that we know about, but there are countless of mothers and fathers living the same truth. They are grieving, they are angry and exhausted, but they do not have a platform or support. Families are suffering in silence while institutions move slowly. This is a reality that we cannot ignore. I'm calling on this entire community to rise to this moment. Where are our leaders? Where are our leaders when families like Deeqa need help and support? Where are the elected officials, the faith leaders, the civic leaders, the people with the power to make the change? This is not a fight that should only rest on a grieving mother's shoulders. It belongs to all of us. Every person in this room, every organization, every official must stand up and say that children's lives will not be put at risk anymore. Bureaucracy, neglect, and silence cannot be allowed to hide behind closed doors while children are harmed. Every agency and every professional who touches the lives of children must act with urgency, transparency, and respect. So I'm asking everyone here to commit today. Stand with Deeqa and her husband. Stand with baby Mahad. Stand with every parent who is suffering and still waiting for justice. Speak up in your neighborhoods. Hold leaders accountable. support organizations that defend families, and demand reform that protect every child. This is about baby Mahad, but it is also about who we are as a people. We have a choice: to let injustice continue behind paperwork and excuses, or to insist that compassion and justice are the standards by which we live. I believe our community is stronger than silence and stronger than injustice. Together we can make sure that no other child is left unprotected. Thank you all so much for being here, for standing with Deeqa and her husband, most importantly for standing with baby Mahad. This today proves that we will not allow families to continue to suffer in silence, and that we as a community are willing and ready to stand up to demand justice for baby Mahad. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Omar, candidate for City Council in Grove City. I think the courage and the stance of coming and speaking up at this time is something we definitely admire, and we need more community members and more community leaders to come forward and support our sister Deeqa Haji during these difficult times. Now we have other attorneys are exploring other possibilities to bring action against the institutions that have allegedly abused Mahad and abused his mother and his parents and his family and deprived them of one another. So this is an ongoing story. The hospitals, the institutions that have abused Mahad and his family have not heard the end of this, and we will continue with our support for Deeqa and her family.
I just wanted to say that as much as representation isn't visible here, Deeqa has support beyond the city of Columbus, beyond the state of Minnesota, Ohio, and that we are all witnesses to what's happening. We're all a part of it, whether we want to be a part of it or not. And how you act in this moment, as Brother Muhammad said, defines what happens to the future, to our community, and to every child who becomes in the hands of the institutions that were supposed to protect them, ends up being villainized, and the parents who brought them there. I'm not sure if immigrants would feel comfortable seeking assistance from medical institutions that are villainizing, victimizing, and turning felonies into fathers who are supporting their families based on, being out of tax bracket in a powerhouse. We want the state of Ohio to support our sister, not just the Somali community, not just those who share faith with her, but every single person who lives in the state of Ohio who is a witness to this injustice to speak up, whether it is by signing change.org, whether it is by donating to it, or even calling in support of the community to ask, how could we support you? Because if it was your child, you wouldn't want to sleep at night without knowing what's going on with your child's health or with their whereabouts. Thank you.
For our sister who traveled all the way from Minnesota to be with us here, to stand firmly for justice and for Mahad and for Deeqa and Saeed and their entire family. So thank you very much. With this, we'll open it for any comments and questions, and otherwise we will close this session, right? Go ahead.
I have a question for you. What is the next step after this in your opinion?
Well, there are two tracks, really. One is of advocacy, and that is what we do as the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR in Ohio and Columbus and the Central Ohio region, and that is what we will continue to do. And we wanted to invite all other organizations, advocacy organizations, to come together with us and stand on the side of Deeqa and her family. The other track is that of the legal track, and we have one side of it here with the Attorney Darrell Parker, but we're also exploring, and we have reached in an advanced stage of discussion with other law firms that are looking forward to representing Deeqa and her family for other alleged mishandling of his medical care, as well as the mishandling of the entire case of whether it's parental rights or the child's welfare. So all of these things are on the table, the advocacy side, the legal side, and all of it is going to come together as our community is becoming more aware of this gross injustice that has been carried out by these institutions.
As Mahad Muhammad's mother, what I am requesting, my plea with everyone is to please raise awareness. I cannot reiterate how important this is. It's devastating what my family has went through, but it's more devastating to know hundreds and hundreds of other families are facing the same barriers, except have no voice. So please, I beg you to take a stand. I beg you to stand with justice, stand with Mahad, stand with our family, and we would like for you to please take the time to send the action alert email that has been prepared by the Islamic Council CAIR Ohio, thanks to Khalid Turani and his team. We are asking people to please go to change.org/justice for Mahad, sign the petition, and if you are able to donate to his GoFundMe, but more importantly, share Mahad's story so people can learn from it. Our goal was never to stigmatize anyone or to expose anyone. We are not whistleblowers. We were not intended to, we didn't start this off by looking to stigmatize any certain group, institution, or agency. My child sustained a birth injury, and I have been voicing it from the moment he was pulled out of my body, which was overlooked and led to this. The amount of injustice in what took place with my family should not have to take place with any other family or any other child. For that reason, I am asking for community support. I am asking for you guys to raise awareness, and I am challenging these institutions to come and speak with us and our leaders, not only to address my child's situation, but to also further prevent other children and families suffering in such miserable ways. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With this, I think, Sabrine, we will conclude.
You want to conclude?
Thank you all for attending, for viewing this video. We ask if you come across these videos, share it with a friend, repost it on your social medias for others to hear the news for justice, and support Mahad. It takes a village, and Deeqa and Mahad truly have a village. We are their village, and we can make a difference. Thank you all for attending, and have a good day.